Tonight from downtown Indianapolis, the Fever welcome in the Seattle Storm with major playoff implications on the line tonight.
All right, y'all, look, this is a big one tonight. Okay, it's an important one. This has got to be our best 40 minutes. This has got to be our most intentional 40 minutes in everything that we do. Okay, look, no one person needs to do anything outside of themselves, right? But every single person in this locker room needs to be the best version of themselves.
The Indiana Fever didn't just win. They made history 6 different times in one unforgettable night. Beating the Seattle Storm by 20 points was huge, but the biggest story was how they did it. With Caitlin Clark sidelined, a Nike logo lighting up Gainbridge, and 5 other teammates also out, Indiana showed they're not just surviving, they are breaking records and climbing back into playoff position. This game wasn't just a victory, it was a statement of grit, resilience, and belief in the future.
Aliyah Boston and Izzy McMagor in the center jump circle. We are underway from Indianapolis. Odyssey Sims tracks down the jump ball and lays it in.
Sims wearing bright pink shoes, passes to Mitchell, right corner 3. That's good! And it's a record! 771 points and counting in 2025 for Kelsey Mitchell, the most in Fever franchise history.
What happens when a player doesn't even touch the court, yet still shapes the entire night? That was the reality at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, where Caitlin Clark stole the spotlight while sitting on the sideline in street clothes. Nike picked this game to unveil her signature logo, and the atmosphere felt less like a late-season matchup and more like a citywide celebration. The WCC lit up the arena, glowing on massive displays outside and stamped across T-shirts given to every fan who walked in. Within minutes, the crowd looked unified, almost like one giant team wearing the same uniform.
It looks really unique, I think it's very creative for Caitlin Clark to come up with something like this. And I just enjoy, all of it, it's like aura.
We love it! It's simple, yet it speaks a lot.
I love it so much.
I'm a big fan of it. Simplicity is the best. I like the design. Nike always does great with design, so I'm a huge fan of the logo.
It looks really cool. I was really excited to see it last night, and it looks like we're going to get shirts with it on it, so that's pretty exciting too.
I like it. I like how it incorporates the CC.
I love it. Double C's. Let's go, Caitlin!
Inside Gainbridge, the energy was undeniable before the ball even tipped. Clark's absence didn't dampen the night. Her brand carried the arena. It felt less like Fever versus Storm and more like Caitlin Clark Arena. Everywhere you turned, there were banners, exclusive merch, and fans proudly holding limited edition gear. This wasn't just another WNBA game. It was a cultural moment. The pre-game ceremonies only amplified the buzz, with cheers erupting each time her name was called, even as she missed her 16th straight game due to injury.
Double charms, necklace, zipper, everything.
But that's where the tension really set in. Clark wasn't the only one missing. Sophie Cunningham, Chloe BBY, Sydney Colson, and Ari McDonald were also out, leaving Indiana with 5 sideline players. On top of that, the Fever had already dropped 4 of their last 5. The playoff race had tightened into a fight for survival, and everyone knew a loss here would sting far beyond one game. It could drag them further down the standings when every win mattered most.
BB's been the one that's been most affected by all of our injuries. All of the point guards that know how to get her the ball and how they get it to her, and it's not just getting her the ball, it's where you get it to her, getting it to her on time, on target, thinking one pass ahead, all that matters. And I thought today, her aggressiveness with the ball in her hands to the rim, getting into defenders, playing low to high instead of high to low. When she plays like that, there's nobody that can stop her. And, she set the tone for us, really on both ends. She had the NECA assignment as well and set the tone for us on both ends. And, she was terrific.
So the game itself turned into a story of contrasts. Off the court, Indiana built a full spectacle around their star. On the court, though, they were patched together, facing the challenge of slowing down the Storm with a short-handed roster. Coach Stephanie White admitted before tip-off that the Fever had to treat it like a playoff game. Every possession, every detail mattered. And Aliyah Boston summed it up best. The building didn't feel like August basketball. It felt like May.
It's special. There's very few people who get the opportunity to say that they have a logo and to make the impact that she makes, not just I think in the sport, but globally, just by being who she is. She's a connector. She brings people together. And, I think for us to be a part of that, and whether it's, as simple as being able to celebrate all of these things with her, or, as much as walking out into the arena and seeing the whiteout on the chairs out there, it's really cool. And it's really special and shoot, I'm talking about it right now, and just feeling the intense gratitude for me personally, being in women's basketball, to be able to be a part of this moment, and to celebrate with her.
That kind of pressure meant Indiana couldn't just coast through the night. The mix of celebration and urgency elevated the energy, and while Clark's CC logo lit up the walls, it was someone else lighting up the scoreboard. The Fever came out blazing, dropping 20-plus points in every quarter and never trailing once. By the final buzzer, the scoreboard showed 95-75, a statement win that lifted Indiana from 8th place up to 6th in the standings. Fans may have entered the arena wearing Clark's logo, but they walked out talking about a team that turned the night into pure dominance, built on grit and toughness that defined the stage.
And Gabby Williams were slow to get up after a collision underneath the basket. Here's what happened.
Well, that is a major collision for the two of them. They both knock heads. It took them both some time to get to their feet.
What marks the true turning point in a season where injuries could have broken a team but didn't? In this game, it came almost instantly. Just minutes into the first quarter, Cambridge fell into stunned silence. Lexie Hull and Gabby Williams collided head-to-head while scrambling for a loose ball, the impact echoing through the arena. Hull rose with a visible knot swelling on her forehead, and the celebration that had filled the building just moments earlier turned into anxious quiet. With 5 Fever players already sidelined, the possibility of losing Hull, too, felt like a devastating blow waiting to happen.
See Hull gets hit in the head there at the beginning of the game, comes back in. If you just speak to her toughness and what it meant seeing her fight through what sure was not very pleasant.
I feel like Lexie's the definition of tough.
Yes.
I think when you just think of her as a player, the way that she hustles, she likes to get loose balls, extra offensive possessions. That's what she does. I mean, she got hit, she came back and just continued to contribute again. Was a pest on defense, just making her presence felt, offensive rebounds, and that's just who Lexie is.
But less than 10 minutes later, the entire mood flipped. Hull checked back in, the swelling still visible on her forehead, and instantly the arena erupted. Her return wasn't just about being back on the floor. It set a tone of resilience the Fever needed. Afterward, Aliyah Boston summed it up simply. Hull is the definition of tough. Coach Stephanie White didn't hold back either, calling the collision disgusting. Hull, though, brushed it off, even joking later that people told her she looked beautiful with the lump. That fearless response became more than just a moment. It gave Indiana a rallying point, a spark that carried them the rest of the night.
Yeah, I mean, that was disgusting. I don't know if y'all saw it, but I mean, it's who she is. She's just a tough young woman who battles every possession, and you can never tell if Lexie does, if she's hurt, if she's injured, if she goes down, if she gets back up. She just always has the same expression, and she just plays her butt off. And I'm thankful that it wasn't worse, and thankful that she was able to come back. But she really kind of epitomizes the toughness and the grit of this team.
It was a complete shift in how Indiana played. Suddenly, they controlled every possession. The rebounding battle became a blowout, 42-22, driven by Hull's grit on the glass with 9 boards, alongside Boston and aerial powers cleaning up inside. And when it came to pure paint dominance, Boston delivered with authority. She dropped 27 points on 10 of 18 shooting, overpowering Seattle on nearly every touch. Each bucket looked like a mismatch, every possession a statement. Indiana wasn't here to play scared. They were here to impose their will.
Williams drive, passes, Breezy with a block. She swats Malunga. Fever in transition left to right. Powers at the right elbow. Backing down Diggins, passes left wing. Kelsey fires, got it. The defense to offense, and the Fever lead by 10. It's 22-12 with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter.
None of these tips. Knocks down a 3.
Kelsey pick and roll, and TD lays it in. Lexie left wing, rise and fire. Yes! Howard skip pass, AB, watch 3 right side. Bucket.
Mitchell sees two. There's Boston.
Short roll into the face.
They didn't get a good look, and it's Boston to Mitchell.
That wraps up the first half. The Fever lead the Storms 50-30.
Boston gets the bounce. And it's Howard to Boston.
16,737 on their feet at Cambridge Fieldhouse. Final score, Fever 95, Storm 75. A statement victory for Indiana to spring ahead of Seattle in the standings.
Cal set a new franchise record for most points in a single season.
As Akuma K gets it to go. Mitchell, quick trigger, and hits.
Unguardable. No one can guard. Sykes doing a good job of stuffing that backdoor cut, but it just sets up the screen and roll. It's all Kelsey Mitchell. The subtle things, the amount of attention.
AB, 1,000th career rebound. Youngest player in Fever history to do so.
And good hands there by Aliyah. Boston just wrestles it away from Akuma K, and here is Mitchell.
Usually you'd have a 2-for-1 right here if you had Caitlin Clark on the floor, but without Caitlin Clark, you really need to get a good look.
They do get a good look, and it's Boston to Mitchell. Here is Boston going at the rookie. Boston using her strength to get to the rim.
That 1-4 dribble puts the shot blocker inside the cylinder of the... It's just a really good job. That's what I'm talking about. An extra dribble to get Malanga inside the cylinder of the rim.
It's been a strong start to the third quarter here for Indiana. An 11-point lead has grown to 16, and Boston adding to it, and one and a foul.
Screen and roll, and a good seal. I said